Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Business Bites from Kent Invicta Chamber of Commerce. I'm Kaz Macklin. I'm your host today. I am ably supported with Team Chamber by the delightful Annie Breen. Annie, good afternoon to you. Thank you for pressing the magic. Thank you very much indeed. Annie's going to be making sure that we're all on track. A little bit of housekeeping. We have Maria Wilson with us today, who's our keynote speaker from Saxon HR Consultancy. Good afternoon, Maria. What we plan to do is for Maria to give her presentation, and then we're going to field questions at the end of it. But we've got no problem with you putting questions in the chat, and we'll cut to you afterwards, and you can put your questions directly to Maria, who will be live to answer them. So, Maria, without further ado, thank you, and the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kaz. Thank you, Annie. Thank you for inviting me to speak today. So, as it says, obviously, I'm Maria Wilson. I'm the owner of Saxon HR Consultancy. And in this session, I'm going to talk about employee engagement. So we're going to look at 4 key areas through this session, starting with what is employee engagement. Very simply, what is employee engagement? And then the benefits to the employer as well as to the employee. And 5 successful employee engagement strategies to increase your employee engagement within your business. So just a little bit about me, first of all. So I've had just over 24 years experience in HR management roles, in various HR roles and various industries. Hospitality, food retail, the NHS, and more recently in the care industry. So these are notoriously challenging and difficult industries. And when I first started working in these industries, those typical challenges still remain to this day. They can often be about high employee absence, high turnover, low morale, but in particular, they're difficult to recruit in the first place, so difficult to attract and retaining employees. So I've extensive experience in employee relations, so that's investigation, disciplinaries, employment law advice, and also delivering training sessions and supporting clients with long-term projects as well. So over the years, I've successfully implemented strategies to increase employee engagement, certainly within those, within all of those industries, but certainly the hospitality, food, retail, and the care industries, which were particularly challenging. Okay. So I've got my notes here. I'm just going to go through as well. Okay, so we're going to start with what is employee engagement and what does that actually mean? So this measures the emotional commitment of employees to your company's beliefs, your values, and also your goals. So highly engaged employees will actually care about the work they do. They'll be emotionally invested in the work that they do if they feel engaged. They will care about the company and its goals and its achievements, so the success of the business. And as a result, the employees will work on behalf of the company's goals. So just going to give you some interesting employee engagement statistics that I think you might find a little bit surprising. So within the UK, the employee engagement rate is sitting at 49%. Within the worldwide, it's 68%. So it's quite considerable difference against the world. So out of that, whilst in the survey that was conducted, so it identified that whilst 51% of employees were not engaged, 13% of those were actively disengaged. And what that meant is that those 13% were actively looking elsewhere for other jobs. So they weren't necessarily performing particularly well within their roles. Their morale would be low. And it also impacts with other employees and their morale and their performance because they feel that they're carrying this particular person that is disengaged. And what will ultimately happen, it will impact the business and its overall performance. So with an engaged workforce, a company is 21% more profitable. And this suggests that employee engagement increases productivity by 21%, I can't, my figures are wrong, but productivity by 17%. Within the UK, the average turnover rate is around 15%. However, typically within hospitality, care, retail industries, these can be a lot higher. And in hospitality alone last year, this doubled at 30%. So the average cost to replace an employee is 20% of their annual salary. So just going to look at the cost implications there. So obviously the rehire cost, so the cost to replace the employee in the first place, and then also time, as well as the cost of onboarding and training a new starter, getting them up to scratch, getting to that level within their first 6 months of their employment. What can also happen is when an employee leaves and you've got that gap before you've got somebody there fully trained within their role and performing at that expected standard, is lost custom or sales. You could potentially lose your loss of business as well. Loss of customers or clients to your business. But what it will also do will impact the team. So the team that are carrying that person, the extra workload of that employee that has actually left, so the additional workload, as a result, their productivity will decrease. It can also be a decrease in their morale, but it can also have a knock-on effect on increasing the employees' turnover as well. So they may well be sitting at the engaged sort of category, but slowly but gradually moving to the disengaged if those gaps are left for too long. And finally, it will also have the impact on the reputation of the business. So not only internally, but externally as well. So if the business is continually recruiting for the same role, and obviously we'll see those positions being advertised on social media, for example, members of the public will see and wonder why those roles are continually being recruited and rehired. But also with employees within your business, they will see that a constant stream of people coming and then going, and that will have an impact on how they feel about their employer and potentially how that employee is being treated. So I'm going to move on to the benefits to the employer, first of all. As we know, highly engaged employees will go above and beyond, and they will provide a better quality of service to your customers. What will happen is that will lead to increased customer satisfaction, which will then will lead to increased sales, repeat business, and referrals. So overall, that will give a higher level of profit and reduce your costs, so lower costs overall. And also, likewise, with the employees, there will be a number of benefits to your employees. So employees who will feel more stability and loyalty to their employer. And naturally, their morale will increase. They will feel more engaged. They will feel more happy about coming to work on a Monday morning. Employees that have that sort of that pit in their stomach on a Sunday evening, like about how they're going to manage the week ahead. On a Sunday evening, always says a lot about how engaged they are. More development opportunities for them that they are willing and open to learn, and also more effective communication. So not just within a team, but also the wider organisation as well, and more collaborative working. For the employee themselves, they will obviously be performing above and beyond, so they'll have enhanced performance. And as I said before, more employees will be open to more learning, and it will increase their self-confidence as well. If they feel well trained, they feel valued, they will provide a better service because they will feel confident within their roles. And overall, they'll finally feel supported and valued as employees of your business. So I'm going to move on to the 5 strategies. So the first one is investing in your employees' careers. So when employees feel invested, their loyalty increases to 94%. That's quite a considerable percentage there. So by providing a career path for your employees, you're releasing their true potential and allowing an opportunity for your employees to truly shine within their workplace. Now, what this does, it creates a highly skilled workforce who are able to adapt to technological changes in the world. And in turn, they will provide a higher quality of service to your customers or clients, which is likely to result in repeat business. This will also provide succession planning for the future, so employees will be able to backfill in times of sickness, holidays, or unexpected increases in workload. And it will improve the overall performance and profitability of the business. So some of the things that you can put in place: training, so training workshops, online education, external qualifications to develop that person's knowledge and skills, but also in-house they could have coaching or mentoring as well. So secondly, the second strategy is around recognising your employees' achievements. So here's a figure here, which is quite an interesting, quite a key figure. So 58% of employees within the same survey stated that giving recognition was the most effective way to improve employee engagement. So naturally, employees will put more effort into their work if they feel recognised for the effort and time put in for their hard work. Now, there is this common misconception amongst employers that recognition means salary increases or bonuses, and that's not true. Although in the current cost of living crisis, it does not go amiss. But what I always say is that a salary increase will make somebody happy for one day, but what happens for the other remaining 364 days of the year if they don't feel valued and they don't feel recognised? So some really simple but effective ideas. So Employee of the Month scheme, I'm sure most of you have heard of the Employee of the Month scheme. So it provides an opportunity for an employee to be publicly recognised for going above and beyond. So it can be a presentation of a certificate, a letter, perhaps a gift such as a gift card, flowers, or a bottle of drink. So again, real low cost, but effective recognition and effective strategy. But also long service awards. Now, this is something that I always encourage with clients. And it's a gesture of recognition to thank employees for their loyalty to the business. And it used to be starting around sort of like 5-year service. So normally, and the usual sort of times are 5, 10, 15, 20, and then plus. But now with employees moving from one company to another more frequently than 10 years ago, these are now celebrated as early as 2 years. So the top 5 gift ideas are usually gift cards, a memorable experience, extra paid leave. Now that's always a winner. If with length of service as well and long service comes extra annual leave. Employees love that. Luxury gift or cash. An added touch is to allow the employee to choose their preferred award. So you're giving them that ownership really of what they would like. There's also things like on or off-site events, and it could be something as simple as a few drinks after work or a meal out or an escape room. Again, that's fantastic for engagement, teamwork, team building. If that's not something that employees want to attend or may not be able to attend because of their own personal commitments, perhaps an on-site buffet lunch to celebrate the end of a particularly challenging project. It's a recognition, it's a thank you. And I've just put here, just bearing in mind for all dietary requirements and taking into account people's personal commitments outside of work. Providing development opportunities. So it's not always about a gift or a celebration. Sometimes it's about the opportunities for an employee to progress their careers and their skills. And then I've put at the bottom there, salary increase or review. Now, obviously, it does, go without saying that does help, certainly in this current cost of living sort of crisis, but it should not be done in isolation. A salary increase or a bonus, a one-off bonus, will only go so far as increasing that motivation and engagement, unless an employee feels that that they've shown genuine appreciation from their employer. Okay, so it has to be genuine to be effective. The third is involving your employees. Now, this is a great tool to increase employee engagement. Employees they really do love to feel part of a business, to be valued. So open and transparent communication is a great way of involving your employees and asking them for their ideas. But involving employees, you need to ensure that through a collaborative decision-making process, both the employer and employee are responsible for the overall success of the business. It's really important for employers to provide the necessary strategy to encourage employees to share their ideas and thoughts, as well as following up on any proposed and agreed actions. There's no point offering the opportunity to your employees to provide suggestions and ideas and not do anything about it, or even feed it back and what you're going to do about it. So some of these ideas could be a briefing from the CEO or the MD about the business. It could be inviting the employees and encouraging employees to ask questions and share ideas. Could be a monthly newsletter. There's something that's really, really effective in some of the companies that I have worked for. I implemented a monthly newsletter, and employees really do feel they do and understand what's going on within the business. So this can be used to not only celebrate successes, but also share company stats and future plans. Employees who are involved in setting their own KPIs or goals are more likely to feel invested in their own development and success. And also getting them involved in planning projects. Your employees are the people that are going to be doing the work. So setting the agenda and setting their projects and the plan is a great way of that ownership for long term. So strategy days, setting the company values I've put there as well. So you may already have company values, or you may want to implement values. A great way of setting the right company values is to have your employees involved in those decisions. Strategy days to set future goals. So these could be away days, a great opportunity for employees to bond, work collaboratively with people that they wouldn't normally within their day-to-day roles. And also it increases morale, and they're able to they're involved in setting future company goals through brainstorming sessions. So the employee and employer are then both responsible for the success of the business. Okay, the next one is giving the employees a voice. So I always look at this as a two-step approach. So providing employees with a platform for feedback firstly, okay, and then secondly, to actually listen and use the feedback given by those employees. Employees will not continue to give that feedback and to give and share their ideas and how they feel about their roles or their learning or their development or what they want to achieve if they're not being fed back or taken on board. So by doing this, employees will feel more valued and will continue to share and provide their ideas and suggestions. So some of those ideas here are our suggestion box. So having a suggestion box, it could be an email inbox, or it could be literally a listening box that you provide in an area that everyone can access, and they can anonymously put their ideas in the box for someone to look through and implement if possible. Listening sessions, so focus sessions, feedback on particular project that took place that you want to have a debrief, but listen to what the employees felt about it. And another great tool are employee engagement surveys. And it's really important that the questions are designed in order to achieve the maximum responses and also to get people to respond about how they feel about the company and their role. So the employees will feel valued and will continue to share and provide their ideas. So employers need to create an environment where employees feel comfortable and are able to speak up and have their voices heard. So if they're giving feedback, but they're not being listened to, or they're worried about repercussions, so they're fearful of giving those ideas in the first place, they won't do that. Okay, so the final strategy is around ensuring a healthy work environment. So encouraging your employees to have a healthy work-life balance is one of the best ways to keep them happy and motivated. So having an open and transparent culture allows people to feel safe within their workplace without fear of speaking up. So this is useful when identifying and raising concerns or conduct or behaviours that are unacceptable within the workplace without fear or repercussions. One way to promote a healthy work-life balance is allowing employees to have flexible working hours. Now, I appreciate that's not always possible in every single industry or every single role, but where that can be something that can be implemented, just some of those ideas are just sort of earlier starts and earlier finish times, or later start and later finish times. There's also some flexibility. It's not just about the working hours or the working days, but it's also some things like time off to attend a child's sports day, grandparents having a paid day off following the arrival of a grandchild, a later start for parents of a child dropping off their child on their first day of school. You can imagine how valued that employee will feel if they know that their employer cares about them, so they're not missing out on these life sort of events. So having an awareness of health and well-being. So it's never a bad idea to promote your employees living healthily. So encouraging employees to be healthy shows that you genuinely care about their well-being, and it could lead to lasting commitment on their behalf. So, for example, an employee assistance program that provides support and guidance for employees, such as counselling sessions, advice on healthy eating options, lifestyle options, but also podcasts and signposting for various resources. Also provides occupational health support as well. So these are just some of the ideas that can be implemented in most working environments, and you will most certainly be rewarded with a more engaged and loyal group of employees.
Well done, Maria. Thank you. Almost perfectly posed. We've only got 4 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise. Lucy, if I could kindly ask you to unmute. You've got a question for Maria. Thank you. I know you're on your phone.
Sorry, I'm on my phone because my laptop.
Yes, I know. It's just a little bit more fun for you to ask the question of Maria.
So what's the best way to increase participation in employee surveys? Because we've done them before, but take-up's been really quite bad.
That's a really good
question, Lucy.
Yeah. It is a good question, and it is something that is often asked because the participation levels can be quite low, and you're not going to get a true measure of what's really going on within the business unless you get a good percentage or a high percentage of employees participating. So what I always advise is great communication pre-survey launch, first of all, and during, to just keep that in people's minds, that, reminding them what it's about, what it's going to do, what's going to happen with the feedback, the sort of questions and areas that you're going to be asking for their feedback. But what's really most important is employees understanding that, one, it's anonymous, but also that you are going to do something about the feedback. There's nothing worse than having, spending money with an external provider, for example, having this great engagement survey and these fantastic results, and then putting it away in a drawer for the next 6 months or the next year. So advertising the results, putting an action plan together, focus groups with employees, all of that will show the employees that you really are interested and you value their opinions, and they will participate going forward. And there's nothing, you don't be frightened to actually share all of the information. So if it's not great feedback, so be it. That's what people are saying. That's what your employees are saying. And you need to be transparent and open about that.
Thank you, Maria. We've only got 2 minutes left. Michelle has very kindly posted from Medway Council, loyal chamber members. Thank you very much, Michelle. Always a great contributor. She's saying if people would like access and free support for staff health and well-being, get in touch. She's running a course which is going to be delivered by the wonderful Helen Lawson, who is also a chamber member and also with us today. And what I really love is the partnership approach here. So it's absolutely marvellous. We've only got 2 minutes left. And on that, I'm so sorry, I'm going to have to close. We will be sending out Maria Wilson's email contact address if any of you have any unanswered questions. I'm so sorry it was a little bit harried at the end of it, but every single one of you here today has contributed to a successful event. I know some of our guests here today have put their contact details in the chat, so Mark has, but we will be sending the attendee sheet out to chamber members so you can all reach out with one another. It remains for me to thank Annie Bream from Team Chamber, who has pressed all the magic buttons and done the right thing, and to our keynote speaker, Maria Wilson. We do like to finish on time because these are promoted simply as business bites. We wish you a good forward afternoon, and we look forward to you joining us at other business bites as we move forward. I've been Kaz Macklin for Kent Invicta Chamber. Take it easy, folks.